Hi, I'm Ruth. I'm a project manager at Life Science Incubator and have always been really interested in education, technology and health. Okay, so I work for Life Science Incubator and I'm a project manager there. A Prince 2 project manager, so I've got that kind of qualification end to it. I work with businesses, helping them grow. Sometimes they're really little companies, like just one person or two people who are just starting out. And sometimes it's really, really big international companies who are looking to do a research project or to develop a particular product. It's really exciting because I get to work with doctors and nurses and all kinds of people in healthcare, but I also get to work with companies and people designing interesting devices or creating apps and things like that. It's quite varied, really. When I'm in the office, it's a big glassy office, lots of windows, beautiful views. And I've got my own desk there, so I've got a space to myself. I can keep my shoes and my files and things. And I might be doing lots of emails or having one-to-one meetings, or having meetings with companies. Um, but I'm also out quite a lot at conferences or networking events. So we get to travel across Wales, sometimes up to London or Manchester, places like that, to go and meet people or try and see what's happening in the industry. Every job has good parts and bad parts. The hardest thing, I think, is um, people come to you with a really interesting project and they're really passionate about it. It might be life changing for the people that they work with, and everybody puts all this effort in. And sometimes you don't get the funding, and so the project doesn't go ahead. And I think that that's really hard when people have put so much time and effort into it. But there's lots of good bits as well. And for me, the best bit about it is getting to meet loads of really interesting people. They can be so inspiring. People who are working at the front of curing cancer or are developing prosthetic limbs for children, or are working in conflict zones or third world countries with burns victims and that sort of thing. And they are so inspiring, so amazing. They're all experts in their own fields, and then you get to work with them on their projects. So that can be really interesting. I was a good all-rounder at school, but not amazing at anything in particular, which I think is quite useful to know because people always make it sound like, if you're not good at something, that whole field is shut to you. Whereas actually what I found was I went in and did, all right at everything, went on to A levels, and then went to uni and did art history and English because I liked them. And I've never worked in them at all because I ended up doing lots of volunteering and finding that I really liked education and health and skills and things like that. And so I did lots of part-time jobs or holiday volunteering opportunities that took me more and more into health and education and that side of things. Um, and the whole university experience was really interesting. The course was, I enjoyed it, but then I've never actually really used it afterwards. But the other parts of it, where you got to get involved with different clubs and societies and met lots of people, and I had a part-time job so I could save up money so I could travel, and then from travelling did volunteering overseas and things, and all of that has led to what I'm in now, which is working in health and science and an incubator. I think it's good doing vocational university courses. That's the one thing, although I enjoyed my university degree, there's the one thing that I do think could be helpful, especially if you're worried about career prospects, doing something like nursing or social care or applied medical sciences, or something that you can see a path through. You don't need to stay on that path. There's so many opportunities to change what you want to do, but it does mean that you know that you'll be able to get a job afterwards, which I think is good. And probably doing art history and English, whilst it was enjoyable, it maybe wasn't the best financial decision at the time, and it's worked out absolutely fine. But I think if you're worrying about what you do long term, I think having that kind of vocational element to it can be really useful. And the other thing I would say is do lots of work experience and volunteering and placements, and whenever you get an opportunity, if something sounds interesting or fun, or it feels like it's an important thing, maybe there's a chance to, I don't know, work with the homeless, or you get an opportunity to work in school for a month or something. Taking those opportunities is really good, because then you learn what you're good at and you learn what you really enjoy, and that has helped more than the course I did at uni in finding a job that I really liked. I think the only thing I'd say is don't feel like you need to have it all sussed out. Like, I think I didn't know where I was going to end up. I just kept going from step to step to step, and it was fine. It worked out well. I think a lot of people get quite worried about, well, where will I end up? But as long as each step you're taking is a good step, then you'll get somewhere, and you can't know where you're going to end up when you're 16. It's too far ahead. But if you stick to doing the best you can at your GCSEs, and then stick to doing the best you can at your A-levels, and then try and get a place on the course and make each module count, so even if you need to change, you've got the last thing under your belt, and it will all add up into being something worthwhile. But you don't need to have a perfect career planned out. It will come along when it's ready.
Brilliant, thank you very much.
Thank you.